Eisendrache Is Perfect. Thank you guys for watching. Okay, I'll guess I'll do a review of this map regardless of us already knowing of its quality. After Shadows of Evil and the Giants release, people were anticipating their Eisendrache. I mean, how could they not? I still remember all of the trailers for this map. Each of the trailers showed off something really cool and or intriguing. And then the map released, and for the first time since Origins, everyone was loving this map upon release. Even though to this day I still don't like Origins, but I do like the Eisendrache. But what reasons do I have for liking the Eisendrache? Well, let's start the review. The first thing I talk about is the map's visuals. Are they as eye-pleasing as Shadows? No. Do they perfectly reflect the atmosphere and or tone this map is going for? Well, that's the thing. The Eisendrache doesn't really have an atmospheric message like its other Black Ops 3 counterparts, at least not one that I know of. However, that doesn't stop the map from looking gorgeous because my god it does. The interiors provide enough color to please your eyes, and the outside areas are really pleasing to look at too, with the constant snowing giving the map a weird peaceful feeling. So while the visuals in this map, aside from the giant, may be the least interesting to look at, they still look pretty good, and trust me, the map makes up for its lack of defining atmosphere. But before we do get to the insane positives, I'll touch on another neutral subject, the map's layout. The map layout of this map is not all that interesting either. It's not necessarily tight, but it's not really open. Essentially, the map provides a good bit of training spots and camping spots for that matter, but will also have more than enough tight places to raise the difficulty. So, the map isn't a cakewalk. Well, it is for experienced players. However, now we can get into the real star of the show, what the map contains gameplay-wise. If you played this map or even Mob, then you should be familiar with how the dragons work. Essentially, you have to feed 3 dragon heads around the map a certain amount of zombies. You do this by simply killing zombies in front of it. Imagine a soul box, except you get a cool animation of each zombie's kill. This process may sound like it's tedious on paper, but this dragon step is really fun, and it's a good way of spicing up early rounds and give you something productive to do as you unlock the map. But you may be asking, what in the world does this give you? Why, the Wrath of the Ancients, of course. Now this reward is so much better than the Hell's Retrieve if you ask me. The Wrath of the Ancients was a smart decision, because casual players who got hold of this weapon will probably love it since, you know, they're probably not going to survive that long, and this weapon will certainly last them to the low or moderate round they die on. However, for us hardcore players who tend to go for round 30 or above, this weapon will start shooting marshmallows. That's where the upgraded versions come in. If you're an experienced player, there's 4 completely optional upgrades you can get for the Wrath of the Ancients you can obtain if you go to the trouble of doing a side quest. There's the Wolf Bow, which is the easiest to get but is easily the least effective. There's the Void Bow, which is easy to get as well but is super effective. And there's the Lightning Bow, which can be a little tedious at times to obtain, but once you get it, it's an absolute monster. Now the reason I left out the Fire Bow is because I've still never built the thing before. I've had this game for nearly 5 years, I'm a Prestige 8, I've played this map countless times, and I've still yet to build this thing because the first step is too painful. Noah, we still need the Fire Bow tutorial! However, I have used the Fire Bow before, and it's decent. As you would have guessed, these bows upgrades add a lot of replayability to the map as a whole, especially with the optional upgrades. However, if you're playing with randoms, be prepared to either race for your arrow or do whatever bow the randoms left you with. Hey, at least you can't steal your weapons like in Origins. Did I mention I don't like Origins? Also, the rocket shield makes a comeback, and don't worry, its charge is still as useless as ever. There are also a new specialist weapon that can come from multiplayer called Ragnarok's. You can obtain this weapon by doing 3 easy steps, and this specialist not only gives you something to do, but it's also a lifesaver. You can either slam repeatedly on the ground and annihilate any zombies that stand in your way, or you can slam them permanently on the ground and be invincible for a few seconds by standing in its electrical charge. This is perfect for reviving players. Also, there's some sort of plunge on this map, and I have no clue what that is about. I've never gotten it before, so yeah, this map is full of fun side quests that will definitely keep you entertained when getting set up on early rounds, and the quests themselves aren't cheap. As for the sub-bosses in this map, Hellhounds make a triumphant return, and for the first time since King of the Turton, they're a part of this map and they're not optional. As for the boss zombie of the map, Panzers make a return from Origins, except there's 2 new changes. Number 1, they don't come at round 8, so you have a chance to get set up so you can actually fight the thing. And 2, the claw move has been replaced for a projectile move where they can shoot shock charges. While the shock charges are annoying, I'll take it any day than that claw move. So yeah, the sub-bosses in this map do a good job at spicing up the gameplay on high rounds without being too tedious to ruin your experience. Now it's time to talk about the Easter egg. I love it. Out of any Easter egg, maybe aside from Rave or Spaceland, Eisendrache is easily my most completed Easter egg. I don't want to go too deep into the steps because then that'll take all video, but I can confidently say that this Easter egg is so replayable because all the steps are either fun or just not tedious. And to cap it off, the boss fight at the end was at the time the best COD Zombies boss of all time. Easily still the best Treyarch fight of all time. The boss looks cool and it's balanced to the point where it's not broken but challenging enough to keep you alert and always moving. The Easter egg might easily be the best COD Zombies Easter egg of all time. And a good reason for that is the story. Now, after the cliffhanger on Shadows of Evil and the confusing intro on the Giant, no one knew where the story was heading. And we find out on the Eisendrache that was actually intentional. Because none of our characters aside from obviously Richtofen knows what's happening either. Essentially, the community is in the perspective of Tank, Nikolai, and Takeo. The only info we get is Richtofen wants to secure Tank 1.0. Now, as you do the Easter egg, many cool story moments happen. We get some cool insight to Dr. Goth, we cleanse the Corrupted Keeper, and we top all that off by blowing up the moon, which was not only a cool symbolic nod to Moon telling the player history won't repeat itself, but it was also a huge shock since people were speculating a Moon remake at the time. And then the Easter egg outro cutscene. We finally figure out what Richtofen's grand scheme is when he drops the bombshell that he needs to kill all the Ultimates versions of themselves and absorb them into the summoning key. The characters are obviously not happy with this news, but Tank volunteers to off himself and he does so in visual pain. Then for the first time in this entire 9-year-old story, Richtofen shows care for his allies, and then the player is left with many chilling questions. Why does Richtofen need the souls? Can Richtofen be trusted? Will the group succeed in their mission? All will be revealed in the journey ahead. The story inside the Eisendrache is not complex in any way, but the story moments that happen during the Easter egg are mind-blowing, and the map does a great job in setting up the rest of the season. In conclusion, the Eisendrache is a perfect map. The visuals and layouts are decent, the plethora of side quests are fun to do, the Easter egg is mind-blowing, and the story is great. The Eisendrache is the definition of a perfect zombies map, and that's why it gets an easy 5 out of 5.